Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hello and welcome everyone to the JayBee and Milly podcast. Welcome back to another review. My first time introducing this, so it sucks. Not the podcast, just me. So we are going, I'm Rhianna, and then we got JayBee and Milly.
Hello.
Hi.
And we're going to be reviewing Mystery Mask Mix-Up, which is the second episode of season 2 of Scooby Doo, Where Are You? So I guess, should I just go into the plot summary? So Daphne buys a decorative and it's a cursed mask in Chinatown. And she is subsequently kidnapped by a pair of ghastly ancient Chinese figures. The rest of the gang know they have to trail the kidnappers to the temple of the evil Zen Tao. I'm so sorry about that pronunciation. Who is apparently haunting the temple and wants to do away with the gang. Will the gang get Daphne back and will they survive? This is the real question, and we're going to get right into it.
Oh, so that was a very, very good plot summary there. I like the emphasis on Daphne. This is definitely a very Daphne-centric episode. But kicking us off with the start, it's full of intrigue. The first thing that I observe is these monks worshipping what appears to be the Buddha. Does anyone know if this is meant to be the Buddha, or is Zeng Tao meant to be a bit more on the bulbous side?
I think I want to say that it is meant to be Buddha because it's been an icon for a lot of like peacefulness and things like that. So I mean, it being Chinatown, it kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, see, I was a bit confused because they always do this thing. I think they did it in the Snow Ghost episode as well, where the person appeared and saying, "What, you've like reached the temple of Zheng Wu or whatever," and they say it like they're not Zheng Wu, but then they are Zheng Wu. And like with this, we've got them worshipping like the Buddha, and then some wizard shows up, but then it's his temple, so then it should be a statue of him, but then it's never mentioned. So I don't know, I was just a bit confused, but I like this monster so far. I like the creature, the bloke, even though they're not traditionally what I like, because I don't really like the humanoid monsters. It's a bit boring. I think the costume in this is interesting enough that it's not just like it's a guy, because he's shown to have mystical powers and henchmen as well, so there's a bit more intrigue there. What did you think, Millie? What do you think of the Buddha? What do you think of the wizard?
I think it sets it up as a good villain. Like, isn't this one of the ones that did a Playmobil?
Yeah,
Playmobil.
I think we've got a few. Would you be off to see the wizard if you were in the Scooby world?
No.
No? I would be.
If I was in the Scooby world, I'd want to go to the Scooby Snack Factory, but that's skipping a few series ahead.
I'd want to go to Daphne's house.
I just rewatched the Scooby Snacks Factory episode last night.
Oh
So
yeah,
good.
that was the Willy Wonka one, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Do we know anyone that's worked on that? Was that a... Oh, I can't... Oh, no, I can say that now. Oh, yes, I can only just say that today. The Sharlike. Was that written by Sharlike? Did Rich Dickerson do anything with it?
I think Rich Dickerson may have done some of the music.
Oh, I love that Rich Dickerson. If anyone just listens to this for the reviews, the interviews are amazing as well. Do go and listen to them. So, Rhianna, what did you think of the wizard?
The wonderful Wizard of Oz. But he's not the wonderful Wizard of Oz, unfortunately. But this is a really cool villain. Like, it's after my existential crisis and that Snow Ghost, I had yet another one when I rewatched this, and it was like, this dude is trying to kill the gang. That like this is getting dark, and in both cases in this like the episodes, villains use explosives to try and kill them, which is terrifying. So this is like, I think it kind of just adds to that. Like it's mystical. Yes, it's a real person. It's like a humanoid monster, as you said, but it's interesting. And I mean, I believe this villain was also mentioned in Scooby Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed.
Oh, Maybe. I need to rewatch that because I don't think I saw their outfit. Maybe though, I need to
think it was
rewatch
like,
it.
so the scare pair zombies, as they're called, they weren't on display, but the ghost of Zen Tao too. I genuinely can't remember how to say his last name, and I'm so sorry. It was like mentioned, and it was in like the further back of the museum, but it's there.
Oh, that's so interesting. I need to rewatch it. I never watched Monsters Unleashed enough. Because if I'm gonna watch a live action Scooby, that's probably gonna be like the bottom of the list, right? Well, for me anyway. For me anyway, that's the bottom. What about, not for you, Millie, but you can bully me into it at some stage, I'm sure.
So you can bully me about Amel, but for me, the Lake Monster's my least watched one.
Wait, so you prefer Mystery Begins over Late Monsters?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think you're right, technically. It's very traditional Scooby, very fun. But the Late Monsters is just like summer, right? The costumes are better, and it's just
Scare
interesting.
was a bit better done, I feel, compared to Curse Lake Monster with
actually,
the whole.
Speaking of
like,
Curse of the Lake Monster, I need to do my due diligence. So, for all this is a comedy podcast, I think that's fair to say. I like to joke. This is mostly a character that I play on these reviews compared to the interviews. Moment of serious now. So, Nichols had a cameo in Curse of the Lake Monster, and she unfortunately passed away. So, rest in peace, Miss Nichols. You had a great part in that movie and an amazing career. She did loads of cool Star Trek things. So, all around amazing woman. So, moment of seriousness. You're amazing. Your family is probably amazing as well. So, all the love to you. And yeah, if anyone else has something semi-serious to say before I continue, I think that's good. But yeah, good that we started talking about Curse of the Lake Monster, because I just wanted to pay homage, as it were.
It's actually one thing that I'd like to say about her. She was actually helping NASA, like be more diverse in the training the astronauts and things like that, and helping women also become like astronauts. And she did a lot with NASA. I read up something about that today, and it's crazy because I genuinely didn't realize it was like her until seeing it and then going through her filmography, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've seen her in so many things. I know of her, which was, yeah, she was amazing, and we lost a treasure, definitely.
Yeah, there's so many treasures that worked on these things, and it's a shame when they go. But it's also, it's kind of like it's nice that there's people that have that type of following towards them to reflect on what they've achieved, you know. And I'm grateful that there's platforms and people that know them with like social media accounts that can just share stories about what she was like and what the impact that she had. I think it's amazing. So I guess in the comment section, tributes, I guess it's just amazing. And maybe I will watch Lake Monster again tonight in remembrance, because I love the Lake Monster. But then we can watch Mystery Begins for Millie.
I've just found out. You know how you're asking about like the Buddha?
Oh, yeah,
I'm sorry,
the Buddha.
move on. So, even though it's like not stated exactly where this episode takes place, the reason why a lot of people think that it's like Chinatown in San Francisco is because of like the neighborhood and population, but additionally, there are Buddhist temples in San Francisco, and the chase scene, of course, later on in the episode ends with like the mystery machine crashing into what appears to be the Fisherman's Wharf.
Is this an event? Like, is this a special event? Because
it's Chinese New Year.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, canonically? Because they obviously have that dragon being paraded around.
I'm sure it's Bulma that says that it's Chinese New Year. You get Scooby on Shaggy's shoulders trying to take a look at what's going on.
So presumably this would have been in production in 1969, right? If we assume that the series 1 was produced 1968.
Mm-hmm.
So Chinese New Year.
You're trying to work out if it was the year of the dragon.
No, I'm not trying to find it. I'm just trying to find it in a okay, so Sunday, the 22nd of January, 2023. I said 1969.
It's just like we're time traveling here. We're all singing, all dancing, time traveling podcasts.
I mean, it'll be in a cold month, right? It'll be
Coldplay. You feeling the need to put some music on, JayBee?
Yeah, you know, well, actually, I got it wrong. You know what that means? It means that I tried my best, but I didn't succeed. No, okay.
Chinese New Year.
Okay,
It's
JayBee,
usually...
someone needs to fix you.
Oh, something about Technicolor.
Oh god.
Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Right, let's have the muffling away. So when was it, Rhianna? Do you know?
Wait, where or when?
What is Chinese New Year?
Oh god.
Is it literally just like Happy New Year, but in a different
For the
language?
Chinese. Yeah. So, sorry, I just want to apologize. I'm eating dinner at the same time, so
Wait,
quickly.
are you eating Chinese food?
No, I'm eating
we were talking
pasta.
about Chinese food at work today and where the best place was to order from. But apparently the people that live in the same place as us didn't agree with where we order it from.
What? Bintang?
Yeah.
Oh no.
They apparently order it from somewhere else, and I was like, oh.
Wait, somewhere that's cheaper and open more often.
No.
Look, here's my issue with Chinese things.
It's expensive.
And this isn't.
But that's because we order a lot.
This isn't racist. Every time I watch something remotely Chinese, be it a Chinese Scooby episode, Kung Fu Panda, I crave Chinese food. I just do. I think it's because they're always eating. Like with Po with his dumplings, I'm like, oh, I want some prawn like toast.
But here's what's special: you say that, but you never order the food that they're eating for it to be that you crave.
Yeah, true.
Like Kung Fu Panda's about like dumplings and stuff.
I think it's
you
the
never
music.
ordered them from there. Like your parents have had dumplings left over when we ordered food with them, and you just leave them there. You wouldn't.
Can I defend myself? Can I defend? Wait,
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't want to talk over Rhianna, but I need to defend myself because I feel like I've had a ghastly allegation put my way.
You've never had noodle soup either.
So my parents are very kind of, I don't want to say pompous, but they're quite stuck up and no, I'll be grateful. They allowed me opportunities to dine out of the house, so to say.
They're awful.
So I would always go to these Chinese restaurants. And you'd always have like a like music playing, and so when I was eating like spare ribs, rice, it always that music would be playing, and that's the music that like Hans Zimmer, and John Powell composed for like Kung Fu Panda.
So you're coming up with this lovely, like, you know,
it's association,
authentic experience. The only thing I'm thinking of them taking us to a Chinese restaurant and music is New Year's Eve, and they would then the entirety of the Chinese waiting staff were dancing to Gangnam Style.
Oh no, that was funny. You know, if I've still got that on recording, I'm putting that on Twitter when this episode goes out. I'm gonna. Although
I want to rewatch that now.
Can I do that without permission?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I can, can't.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
It was up to them to start dancing. Yeah. And they had, and it's relevant because they had the Chinese dragon thing on as well.
They did. That's what I was thinking of. Well, that's why I initially asked if it was a special event, because I assumed the Chinese don't just parade around like dragons. Unless it's the American dragon.
Fun little fact. So 1970, it was February 6th, when it was JayBee.
It's okay, JayBee. It was some of the remarks you've made in this. I'm gonna say you still are.
Oh no, come on! It was. I love. What you can't say that. I love every peoples of the world, except for people that prefer Velma to Daphne.
Well, so it was the year of the dog, so that makes sense. There's Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
It's based Chinese New Year, February 6th, 1970, turned Year of the Dog. So, and the dog is like, because dragons are a big sign in the Chinese culture. So, dragons like have a really big meaning in that it represents good luck, strength, health, and also it's kind of, this may be like, this is very old like mythology and stuff. It was seen as the male element yang, whilst yin is like female kind of thing. So the dragon is unique because, of course, a mythological creature, and basically in China, the Chinese zodiac, they see that more babies are born in the year of the dragon than any other animal. So all of that put together, dragons are very symbiotic. Is that the word? Yeah. And you know how there's a lot of red? Red is luck. So you do not wear things like, if you wore white on Chinese New Year, you are basically condemning your family to bad luck for that whole year in Chinese culture.
That
So
must be
if
why
you want
the
good luck,
Chinese aren't in the KKK.
JayBee!
Oh gosh, JayBee.
I'm
Although isn't Fred wearing white?
Yeah, Fred's wearing white.
yeah. That's why
Oh,
Daphne was kidnapped.
that explains it. Oh.
Okay.
So no. I think the Chinese is great. And my favourite thing about the New Year is when they tell you that all of the year.
It sounds like you're about to read out a fortune cookie.
The year is what position the animals came in. No, the year is the position that the animals came in the race, isn't it? It's like a race, and like the dog, like the dragon won, and then the dog was behind, and the turtle was like lagging.
What?
Isn't there a thing like the dragons had
Have
a
you
race?
heard of the story, The Tortoise and the Hare?
No. The dragons, the animals all had a race, and the like say the monkey was fifth, so the fifth Chinese New Year is a monkey.
So we're now on the like.
No, it cycles, I think.
So what it is that there were 12 species that turned up to the start line. So wasn't finishing, and as a reward for showing up, so the order was pig, dog, rooster, monkey, sheep, horse, snake, dragon, rabbit, tiger, ox, and rat.
Why don't the roosters just fly?
The emperor named a year in the zodiac after each one, whilst the race would determine the order in which the animal placed. So, JayBee, yes, you are correct.
Yes, I love it. I'm well cultured, I
Oh my
Where did you and
god!
your sister think Gibraltar
No,
was
I'm
again?
well cultured. I know everything about every culture.
No, can we just revert? Where did you and your sister think Gibraltar was?
No, she thought.
Where did you and your sister, one word only, where did you and your sister think Gibraltar was?
Like UK.
No.
Well, no, you can't tell me some of the places that like Wales is like named after, and then say, "Oh yeah, that's the UK." Like, where is the town Yingle, Smrengle, Fengle, Flip Flop?
Based on your
Oh,
accent, I'm gonna
you
say
mean-
America.
Go.
Yeah, there's like Transylvania, Vincent van Gogh. There's like all types of
No.
weird stuff.
So, fun fact about me. Okay, with the Chinese New Year, I'm the year of the snake, even though I was born in 2002 because I was born before the Chinese
Ooh,
New Year.
traitor.
Excuse me. A snake in Chinese culture is also seen as a baby dragon. So,
Oh, that's so cute. I want a baby dragon.
yeah. And my brother is a dragon. My mum is also a snake.
Wait, what am I? Can
And
we figure out each other? Is it like the year you were
Yeah.
born in? Oh my gosh, please. What year
Yeah.
are we?
I don't have my
What
phone.
year were you born in?
1998.
What year were you born
Wait, are we the
in?
same year?
1998.
Were we born the same year?
Yeah.
We were. Okay, good.
You would both be tigers.
Oh yeah, that's dead sexy. That is.
And you share it with Tom Cruise, Marilyn Monroe, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Robert Pattinson are also apparently
Hey,
the year of the tiger.
gang
But-
guy.
Everyone always thinks that I'm the year of the horse, but because I was born in 2002, but I was born literally a couple of days before Chinese New Year, so I'm snake.
This is like the best day ever. Thank you so much for that. This is like
You're
coming
welcome.
back to the roots, because we always used to have little fun facts and tangents when we reviewed the movies. So far, to me, this has been my favourite episode of reviews so far. So thank you for sharing that. This has been fantastic. So let's get us back on track, because I love how we're just two tigers and a snake having a good time. It goes to show that you shouldn't be.
You're wearing orange.
I know. You shouldn't be a racist person in life, because if two tigers can get along with a snake, then you can get along with someone that's a bit darker or lighter than you. You know what I mean? Like, spread the love, ultimately, is what I have to say.
So sweet.
Yeah. It's just like, that's what I do.
What's happened to you, JayBee?
I'm a philosopher. Like, what can I say? Like, I'm just a philosophical Ruby-Doo guy.
What? Would you like another fun fact, this time in regards to the episode?
Oh yeah, we could have one fun fact.
Just one? Okay.
Because I don't want to ruin the. Well, we maybe could have a post-credit scene, but I wanna tantalize the viewers with more instead of giving them too much. Because I think they like listening to us. I don't want to blow our stories.
I know this is about the episode, so don't worry.
Oh yeah, okay.
So both Scooby and Velma understand Chinese. Of course, Scooby's heard speaking it when he's arguing with the owner of the dry cleaner, and Velma, she claims she can read in Chinese and
Oh yeah.
presumably, speak it well. And also, so you know how there's the shops and everything. There's one with a sign, H&B Tuna & Co, and that's a reference to Hanna-Barbera.
Oh, I watched a documentary about Hanna-Barbera today. I have a question about this episode. And again, this is just me being curious, I don't know. Because I know all about culture, I don't know a lot about the intricacies of linguists. Is claiming to be able to read Chinese racist? Not racist, but ignorant, because aren't there like multiple Chinese dialects?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And so to say, oh, Chinese, it's almost like the ignorance of the time, like, oh, people won't know it's just one. Like Indian, you can't, well, you can speak, well, I don't know, can you speak
There's
Indian?
Like
Punjabi,
Punjabi,
Hindu,
Indian, things like that.
Urdu,
But
Urdu?
I mean,
Urdu, yeah.
in some ways, because there's old languages and new languages, like the majority that people are taught nowadays is Mandarin Chinese, but there's like the ancient Chinese, things like that. And it's kind of like with English, it's like derived from Latin and things like that. So I think it was possibly a little bit ignorant, but I don't think they knew that there were so many different versions.
Here's my issue. There's some things that have happened in this episode. I think we're gonna get to it. Is it in this episode? It is this episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
That has aged like milk. But then I think to myself, not What a Wonderful World. No. Oh my god. Surely with like Takamoto, I don't know if he was like Chinese or Japanese, but in terms of like, they had a diverse crew behind them, right? Surely like Takamoto would have been like, hang on, that's a bit dodgy, right? I don't know.
I guess it's less about with things like this, it was perhaps more about what the audience wanted to see and what they could see as believable, even if it wasn't accurate.
Oh no, that's true. Like, imagine if they had like a genuinely like Arabic guy working on a ladder. But
you could make it a documentary if you wanted it to be really informative.
Yeah, true.
It's an entertainment piece, which has just aged terribly.
And I'm sure it was entertaining at the time, right? Oh, what was that, Rhianna? I'm sorry. I'm a bit of a gob. I'm a gob a lot today.
No, I'm sorry. I spoke over you, and I think we both started at the same time. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. So I think we also need to keep in mind that it's for kids, and kids don't, most kids, when they're born and when they're growing up, they're like, oh, you speak English. English is the only language. And then it's only when they get to like teenagers, they realize, oh, there's more than one. Oh, then there's more than one. Like, there's the Mexican Spanish, and then there's normal, well, not normal Spanish, but then there's Spanish. There's different versions, but we just put Spanish under as Spanish, whilst there's Mexican Spanish, like Canadians in France. So I think they just put it as a blanket term as Chinese. It's kind of like Chinese food.
I guess there's another dodgy section coming up, but first of all, I think I want to address the elephant in the room, and that's kind of just plot. Now we have Daphne and the gang going into into like a shop, a bazaar almost. It's like a jewelry shop, but it isn't. It's more a bazaar.
Where Daphne ends up buying the mask.
Now, does anyone know why, besides plot? Because she's not gonna wear it, right?
No,
It's
but
hideous.
it's like jewels and sparkly, and Daphne's meant to not have the most impressive of intellect.
Do you reckon that's
Kind
it?
of like a magpie. Oh, it's shiny.
Do you reckon that is it? Because I would have thought maybe some earrings for Daphne, a necklace, like shoes.
I think it was partially like brought in to kind of start putting in the little like tidbits that she's actually quite wealthy, that because she's very extravagant as well. So I think, and you know, we learn, you know, in The Mystery Begins, Daphne likes drama and things like that, and of course drama has comedy and what's the other one, like the sadness and things like that. So comedy and drama, tragedy, that's it, tragedy, which is also a song that I've got stuck in my head because I used to dance to that in the pantomime. But so I think she sees it as more,
Oh no,
okay,
you didn't.
Oh yes, I did.
Oh,
I miss doing that. Oh, I need to do panto again. I miss that so much. But I think it was more, you know, now that we understand more about Daphne and there's more iterations of her, we can kind of start thinking, okay, possibly did she think this is shiny, it's gold, must be worth a lot, you know, investment piece, can sell it on, make it all snazzy. But also like the things that we can think about is like in drama, especially school dramas, the masks are so important, like the comedy and tragedy. So she probably thought, oh, this is possibly like a Chinese version of that, you know? I hope that didn't come out as racist.
no, I mean, I'm by no means a racist expert. I can merely observe what I see and talk about it. Like, there's definitely things that I can see being a bit dodgy. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we're not like an SJW show where we're like, oh, this is wrong. They should pull this off the air. They should ban this because it's damaging. I think at the times it was damaging. Like, I think afterwards we hear Shaggy and Scooby trying to do this like awful like Chinese accent, right? Which, like you say, it was aimed at kids, and I kind of have no doubt that at the time this was going to be funny, right? You'd have like a family sat watching, oh wow, Shaggy's doing a funny Chinese accent, and they were kind of laughing, which would inevitably lead to kids trying to make their friends laugh by doing that same awful Chinese accent in like the playground or something. But that's context, that's kids that are now old as hell, right? So that's we're way past that. But it's just interesting, I think, from our perspective, where we can look back at some of these things as a timepiece, similar to 2002. Like, if you want to know what the early 2000s, like what early 2000s corniness, what movie cheese was like, you watch that. And if you want to see some parts of like the insensitivity that people had at the time, I think this is good. But it's only a small part of the series, small part of the episode. I think it's just interesting to watch it with like 2022 hindsight and go, oh, that's a bit weird. But I think it's a good episode. I enjoy it a lot, and I think if no one else has anything to say about the kind of weird scene, we should probably dial it back a bit and talk about the chase song and the chase sequence. So, Milly, do you have any final words about the Shaggy accent there?
No, like we say, kind of just outdated, and it wouldn't be allowed to happen today. Like,
Would I be allowed to happen today?
if that came out now, and you know, say like a parent was washing up in the kitchen, their child was watching TV in the sitting room, and they heard that coming through, there would be problems. There would be a Twitter war. There would
But
be.
it reruns, right? I think, for all I thought it was weird at the time, the best way to deal with this is just how they do on Disney Plus, like at the start of recess ones, which I don't even know. But even if you don't know, you can't identify it, it doesn't harm just to have something like, this episode depicts something that was wrong at the time, but instead of deleting it, we're just going to leave it here as a timepiece. Just know that we acknowledge it. I think that's all it needs. You know, no need to like delete stuff.
I mean, certain episodes are shown more than others, and from my experience, this is one of the ones that's shown slightly less. And I'm gonna guess it's partially because of this.
Like, I would have no ill will to someone with a Gollywog collection, right? The Gollywog toy. But there was a thing I saw on TikTok where someone was trying to like plaster the Gollywog, it's massive stickers of them on their car. And that, I think, if someone complains about it, you should probably take it down and just put it somewhere where you can display it in private. So there's ways of getting about things, and I think you're right, maybe this is not replayed that much. But then again, even the DVD, I was doing a video about Hanna-Barbera, and I think it was Hong Kong Phooey that I said, like, it was like, you know, racial insensitivity that was on the back, you know, like on like the ratings, either for cartoon violence or mild threat, it said like racial insensitivity.
I've never noticed that before.
But on the Diamond collection for this series, there's nothing like that, so I don't know. Maybe it should do, but I don't think they should change it or delete it. What does Rhianna think?
So I'm kind of thinking, like, why there's a very strong saying that, you know, has been passed down from generation to generation. If you forget the past, you are doomed to repeat it. People try to wipe out things from our history, and it just happens the exact same way, but under new leadership and things like that. Look at World War I, World War II, civil wars, you know, all of that. So I think instead of us wiping out things in like Scooby Doo, etc., like, keep it in there, because the thing is that we don't want to forget that it happened, and there's no real point in wiping out history. Like, it's a cartoon. There's no point. Like, I mean, I know we delve deep into it and look at all the different things, but there's no real point in doing, like, just sit down and watch it and enjoy it. If you're not happy with it, find a different episode, find a different series to watch. I feel like that's all people should do, because we, you know, I mean, one thing I know about this episode is Joe Ruby and Ken Spears, you know, unfortunately, I believe they aren't with us anymore, and they cited this as one of their favorite episodes of all time. So if we were to wipe this episode out completely, that means we're dishonoring them and their opinions and what they worked hard for, because like, when we spoke to Bob Singer, he said so many people he worked with aren't alive anymore. So that means if we wipe out all these episodes, every single person who's no longer with us and didn't have any recent work after Scooby Doo, that means all of their legacy, all of the things they'd worked on would just be lost forever. And I don't want to see that ever happen.
No, it's interesting. Honestly, I definitely could. I could talk about this topic for 5 hours and still have stuff to say on both sides of the argument, but I think we'll definitely move on, because I'm getting excited. I'm just, I don't know, it's not like a great happy topic, but it's just an interesting one to dive into. But maybe that's for another time. Maybe if someone wants to ask us about our opinions on, I guess, animation sensitivity or whatever for like an upcoming Q&A, then please do. And everyone's gonna hate me because I like talking, but I guess
JayBee, what's
gosh.
your thoughts on the Chase song?
Oh, well, can someone remind me about this? Because we've got like Milly's, well, we've got stuff going on next weekend, so we have to watch a few episodes kind of in one. Which one is this? It's not Love the World, that's the Headless Horseman one.
It's I Can Make You Happy. Happy is a secret word. And if you're happy, it'll make you true. Because I love you.
And it's like, you know it's true. Oh yeah. Oh man, I love it. I love it so much.
I apologize for that singing. I apologize. My singing.
No, I just wish I knew the lyrics better. I love it so much. It's a banger. I don't think it's as good as the last one or the next one, but I love it, and it's just a great scene. And I think it's the most dynamic scene we've ever had in Scooby so far. Because it wasn't just like the hallway thing, it was literally the mystery machine having a high-speed chase on top of like houses. That's crazy when you think about it.
And of course Daphne ends up kidnapped at the end of this chase scene, which JayBee, we know you can be quite a tough critic on. So in regards to, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how do they do with this kidnapping? Because I know a few you've thought they've kind of missed the mark and Daphne should have been kidnapped in a better way.
Yeah, this is bad because they put her in the car. No, was it this one? See, it's blending a bit. Oh yeah, this is the inconsequential one. Am I right in saying they put her in the car, gag her, but she's still able to alert the gang? So they don't.
Yeah.
There's no point in gagging her because they haven't always gagged her. That's the thing. They've had, so it's not like they've saved on animation cells because, you know, they've got a model of her and they don't want to alter it. Like, they've put in extra effort to gag her at the end of the day if it's all hand drawn and stuff.
Maybe they took your advice when you said that's what they needed
but they don't
to do.
always do it. And in this situation, doing it makes no sense because she still calls out for help. She still alerts the gang. I appreciate that they've done it, but it's not consistent. And in this instance, it doesn't make sense. So, I'm whatever about it, but I don't know.
So, Rhianna, I'm guessing from the singing you like this chase song too. This scene.
I do. I really like it. Like, you know, we mentioned before I've got the Scooby Doo Scooby Snacks album and it's on there. And this is one that I just love listening to. You know, it isn't my all-time favorite, but I feel like it's just one that when you're sad, if you sing it, you'll smile because it's a song that can make you happy. It's literally in the title. And fun fact about this one, there's a Spanish version of this song, but not of this song. In the episode, the Spanish version, they use an instrumental version of this song instead of like having lyrics, which I think is really cool, and I need to find it because it's so good and it's got such a good like musical score that I just want to listen to it. But it was written by Danny Jansen and Susan Stewart, but performed by George A. Robertson Jr.
Huh. Who does the score for this then? Is this Ted Nichols? I think it might be Ted Nichols. I don't know, but I like the song a lot. So, Daphne is captured. Velma can read Chinese, but she can't make out a note. But I think then again, Shaggy figures this out again. We've spoken about Shaggy being more intelligent in this series. Doesn't he see that it's reflected?
I think it's
He
Shaggy.
does. Yeah.
It's the temple on the hill.
I mean, Shaggy in this in this series, to be honest, Shaggy is really trying to be more than just a hippie who likes food, because he's also like the first one other than Scooby at the end, you know, where he goes like Scooby Doo, who breaks the like fourth wall per se in the episode. Like, it's not even just at the end. He's just like, well, how do you like that? Man's best friend is a mouse, and he breaks the fourth wall by looking directly into the camera, and that was a cool moment. And Shaggy's had a lot of cool moments in the first, you know, last episode and this episode so far. He's awesome.
It's almost like they've had to water Shaggy down to justify Fred and Velma in instances. Like, Shaggy's, one of his things was he was all athletic and stuff. And they eventually made, like, Fred be the hunk. And he solved a lot of mysteries and found lots of clues. But then they kind of had to water him down on that regard to make Velma more of the smart one. And I don't think that's fantastic, because everyone always says, oh, Velma could single-handedly solve it. And I think in some cases that's true, but I think the way it was
bore everyone to
originally...
death in the process.
The way it was originally conceived of is they were just a team. They were like the Avengers. For all, you know, Iron Man could probably destroy a lot of things with his rockets. You know, Captain America had his shield, Hawkeye had his bow and arrow.
It's kind of like they've almost had to dumb it down, whereas in order to make the characters more identifiable, they can only have one character trait.
Like archetypes.
I mean, I will say one thing I'm glad about. I don't know if you guys seen Scooby Doo and Spooky Games. It was like a direct-to like TV short movie. And I'm glad that they made Shaggy like the athletic one running and everything, but then they had to do that he could only run really fast when he was scared or when he was hungry and chasing after food. And even then they like made Fred be like, "Oh, I can pole jump. Like I can do that. Like Daphne, don't look at that guy. I can do it. I used to do this." And they kind of it was a weird episode, but that was like the first glimpse recently that we've seen that Shaggy's actually athletic, but not to the extent that this series really showed. Because I feel like this one, all of the gang have different levels. Like Velma's not just the smart one in this. She is, she's smart, but she is also shown to be very caring and empathetic towards, like, especially Shaggy, and things like that, carrying around his medicine, and Shaggy carrying around spare glasses for her, things like that. Whilst now it's Velma's the smart one, and that's literally it. She would rather throw her friends under the bus, well, figurative bus, than, be proven to be stupid, kind of thing.
Yeah, she's a bit of a sus. She's a sus one. She's a bit silly. And it makes me upset. So...
Literally, my next note is that the gang finds Daphne.
Okay, this is another thing that annoys me. Because she's moaning, right? For help, but she's gagged, so she's kind of moaning. And that leads Fred and Velma into a trap. So they ungag her when Daphne goes, it's a trap. Now, obviously you can say that if she wasn't gagged, she would just say, don't come here, it's a trap. But at the same time...
She could have just stayed silent.
No. It could have not, like, the villain could have done their due diligence to not make it so obviously a trap. And so her not being gagged, it would make sense to let her call out, to lure them to that location. Because now we're in a situation where it's a trap, but now it's harder for them to get caught in a trap because she's gagged, if that makes sense. It's just confusing. I know that I'm fixated on this gagging thing, but it's just story-wise, I don't see why they do it when it's not necessary,
JayBee.
and when they do it when it is necessary.
JayBee, you're a creep.
No, it's story-wise, I'm making sense. Story-wise, I'm making sense. Should we talk about the wizard?
Are we off to see him?
We are.
Is there a yellow brick road?
There's a yellow Daphne road. So, Shaggy uses Scooby as a bike, which is very, very iconic. The wizard confronts Shaggy and Scooby. And Shaggy pretends to be a bit brave here, but it doesn't exactly work. Again, though, we've got a bit of Shaggy breaking the mold a bit and trying to be a bit more assertive, which is a characteristic that Fred would, later have, and even Daphne to an extent. But then there's that scene, we've spoken a lot about it, but yeah. The wizard tries to blow up Shaggy and Scooby with fireworks, I think. Is it fireworks?
I think so.
Yeah. Like firecrackers.
And that's just dangerous. Like, that's like a genuine attempt at physical harm. But then we've got Velma nearly solving the mystery. And they set up a trap. And then they get the monks and the wizard trapped. And then, yeah, that's kind of it. I forget who they're unmasked as. Is it the guy from the toy store?
Yes, I think so.
Here's where I get confused. The explanation is that every month a mask comes and they have to get that mask. But wouldn't the guy in the jewellery shop know if the same people were coming to get the mask every month, not to sell it?
Although didn't it go to there by mistake?
Yeah, it went there by mistake, and it was like kind of fraudulently delivered, kind of. It was Mr. Fong and his henchmen who did it.
But then yeah, why would he sell it if he didn't order it? You would assume as a business he would have an inventory. I don't know. It's weird.
You'd be worried that you were going to be invoiced for it, and you wouldn't know how much to sell it for because you wouldn't have known how much it was.
Yeah.
It's kind of because, so the gold mask contained evidence that his names and dates of their shipments and smuggling operations.
I'm still confused why Daphne bought it. I can't justify it. I really can't.
Because rich people don't have this.
In that case, JayBee, do you want to kick this off with a smash or pass?
So, I really like the episode. I think the songs banging. The scene is great. The villain, they're not my favourite just because they're more humanoidy. They do the best that they can with a humanoid villain, but ultimately I would have preferred it to have been like they're at the parade and the dragon comes alive. I'm sure that's like a what's new episode, but that's what I would have preferred. But I think this is a pretty good episode. Not perfect, but I'm gonna smash it. I think it's great. What about you, Millie? Would you smash or pass Mystery Mask Mix-Up?
See, I'm like very, very on the fence about this. I put in my book that I was going to say smash, but I kind of struggle with it a bit in that it's not the best villain, but the budget and the kind of investment in the series is so much better. Like, the music is so good. But like you say, the kind of... I struggle with the story of this. Like, we rewatch these for every episode we record. And as you got at the end there, I'm still kind of struggling with the story. So I think I'm going to say pass. Controversially.
Oh.
What?
Which, of course, is Rhianna. Smash or pass.
Wait, what? Millie! Okay, I didn't expect that. For me, it was a really fun episode. It was really... I feel like there were definitely bits that could have been improved on, probably should have in ways. But at the same time, it's Scooby Doo. And the music was amazing. The chase scene, I feel like they didn't just do the standard car chase, they actually gave it depth and things like that. So for me, Anna, it's a smash.
Ooh, okay.
I like it a lot. So, well, I don't want to label it like this, but we've already kind of done the community update, so to speak. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening to another review on the JayBee and Milly channel. Smash or Pass series. This has been amazing so far. I'm enjoying season 2 a lot more than season 1. And next up, we have an iconic episode. Jeepers, it's the Creeper. I think a lot of us are looking forward to that, and I know that people are looking forward to hearing our thoughts on it. So that is coming up very soon. You can find all of Rhianna's social links in the description down below. Please make sure to check out the interviews and like, comment, and subscribe. JayBee and Milly.